World's Most Detailed Scans Will Reveal How Brain Works by Balab Ghosh, Science Correspondent BBC News. Scientists say they have published the most detailed brain scans the world has ever seen as part of a project to understand how the organ works. The aim of the project is to determine how a person's brain structure influences their talents and behavior. Researchers involved in the so-called Human Connectome project have published the scans of 68 adults in the study. They eventually hope to scan 1,200 people and also collect details of their behavioral traits and DNA. The information is made freely available to neuroscientists in their quest to unlock the secrets of the human brain. The project leader, Professor David Van Essen of Washington University in St. Louis, told BBC News that sharing the data with the international community of researchers would spur rapid advances in brain science. We are all very optimistic that as the community delves in and begins working on these data sets, they will reveal new insights into the brain circuits of healthy adults, he said. Subjects involved in the project have their brain scanned for a total of 4 hours. For part of that time, they carry out a battery of tasks, which include arithmetic, listening to stories, gambling, and moving parts of their body. Volunteers also engage in tests that assess their skills and abilities. In addition, DNA samples are also taken. The scans are essentially a wiring diagram for each person's brain. They show how different parts are connected by nerve fibers and also the thickness of the bundles, which is thought to be an indication of the importance or strength of a particular connection, a so-called structural map. Scanning can also show which parts of the brain are activated for particular tasks, known as a functional map. With all this information, researchers will be able to see if an individual's brain wiring is related to their skills such as musicality, sociability, and aptitude for science or maths. Neural circuitry. According to Oxford University's Dr. Tim Behrens, who is collaborating with Professor Van Essen, the study will uncover which neural pathways are important in determining human behaviors. The eventual aim of the project is to understand how the healthy human brain is wired and how differences between individuals make each person unique, shaping their personalities and their capacity to think and feel. Professor Van Essen is excited by what may be revealed. The BBC's Balab Ghosh gets a look at how his brain is wired.
Gerald!
Hey, Patrick!
Hey, I think you sold me the wrong Jetta.
What?
I'll show you. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you hear that? Yeah. Do you feel that? See? It's not a hybrid.
Actually, it's a Jetta turbocharged hybrid. Volkswagen, das Auto.
What we see here is a scan of my brain. It's not any old scan. It's been taken using one of the most powerful brain scanners in the world, which is here at Massachusetts General Hospital. What you can see here is the wiring diagram of my brain. Now, to talk me through it is Professor Van Wedeen. Van, thanks very much. Can you talk me through what we're seeing, all this wiring here?
Each of these structures that you see is a major fiber pathway in your brain. Over on the far right, we have the visual cortex, and this green bundle over on the right are the fibers that connect the visual cortex to the eye and to the thalamus, necessary for visual processing. So here we are looking right down the front. These green structures are crucial for intellectual and emotional processing. They're called the cingulum bundle, and there's a left and a right. And this big red structure going right across, that's the pathway between the two cerebral hemispheres, the corpus callosum, that allows the left side to know what the right side is doing.
Can we zoom right in?
Yes, we can. This is a three-dimensional structure, and you see how the cingulum arches over the red superhighway of the corpus callosum.
So what do you hope to learn from these incredible images?
We have a number of purposes. On the one hand, we want to understand better how the brain is designed, how it works. On the other hand, we have biomedical objectives. We believe that these images will be a rich source of biomarkers for diagnosis and management of mental health issues. For example, we know that people may have dyslexia, and the people who have better writing ability have structural changes in the language pathways that are reflected in the white matter. So we might be able to tell, for example, whether a child at a young age is at risk of developing a dyslexic problem or less so.
Van, thanks very much. I've really enjoyed seeing my brain in this way. This is all part of a project called the Human Connectome Project, which is mapping the brains of 1,200 Americans to try and learn more about how the brain truly works.
We have the highest quality data of the entire human brain that the world has ever seen. The question is that with more cutting-edge scanning methods, how much can we decipher the circuits that give us our distinctive capabilities, he said. By learning more about how the healthy human brain works, the research will inevitably be of use of those studying brain disorders such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Among those who will be delving through the data is Ed Bowmore, a professor of psychiatry at Cambridge University. He believes that psychiatric problems such as schizophrenia, drug addiction, and obsessive-compulsive disorder are generally arise from irregular brain development. Dementia. We'll have a better opportunity to understand these disorders once we have a better grip on normal brain development, he told BBC News. The research data is also likely to help those seeking to stem or slow down dementia. The study will undoubtedly lead to better ways of identifying those most at risk from their brain scans. And importantly, aim of the £26 million, which are $40 million, 5-year US government-funded project is to share the data with scientists across the world. Those behind the project were inspired by the way that the sharing of information gleaned by the Human Genome Project has spurred the acceleration of genetic science, but this concept has been lower to take hold in brain imaging and the associated emerging field of neuroinformatics. The problem has been the sheer complexity of the data and the ensuing processing and analysis of the information. For example, the images just released on the 68 projects, and the subjects take up about 2 terabytes of computer memory, which is 2,000 billion bytes, enough to fill several hundred DVDs. The Human Connectome Project has therefore developed a database called Connectome DB to make sharing of brain images much easier. In my optimistic view, I believe this will spur an acceleration in neuroinformatics, which will be able to acquire and analyze data from brain scans in more powerful ways than has been possible up to this point. This in turn could lead to a transformative set of developments that could accelerate our understanding of the brain, Professor Wen Essen told BBC News. Follow Palab on Twitter.